For the past weeks, I've been renovating a house, some Victorian fixer-upper in the middle of nowhere that I bought for a steal. It's been uninhabited for decades. The locals wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole, but it's got good bones and a solid structure, even though it's surrounded by swamps. Anyway, while cleaning out the attic, I uncovered a peculiar diary stashed between the cushions of a battered velvet couch. The girl who wrote it must have been munching on shrooms. It's a pretty wild read. I was planning to donate it to the nearest thrift store, but a friend suggested I post it here first, as you guys might get a kick out of it. So here it is, the last few pages of the diary, transcribed in full. It was 3 o'clock on the 1st of October when I smelled it. I woke to the cold hardwood floor poking through my thin mattress, a damp fungal stench slowly penetrating my nostrils. Cursing under my teeth, I rubbed the crumbs of sleep out of my eyes and floundered into the hallway, carefully avoiding the plethora of planks, nails, and tools that were strewn about. Previous tenants had left the house in a state of renovation. Fortunately for us, it made rent affordable. The remoteness of the house most likely also played a part in it. I knocked on my mom's heavy bedroom door. "Do you smell that too?"
Smell what?
She yawned from the other side of the door. "Really?" "It's an old house, Sadie. You'll get used to it. You always do." The room groaned.
Do me a favor and go to bed, will you? What time is it anyway?
As I slumped back to my bedroom, another waft of the fungal stench hit me. This time my legs started to feel shaky, and for a moment, I nearly lost control of my body. The smell seemed to emanate from the trapdoor to the attic. It was 2 o'clock on the 3rd of October when I heard it. I was roused from uneasy dreams by the sound of nails scuttling on the other side of the ceiling, where the unexplored attic lay. With sweat purling on my forehead, arm hair standing up, I gripped my blankets and heeded the soft scratching. I was scared, and I hated it. I wasn't a little girl anymore. At least that's what I'd been assuring Mom in our latest disputes. Sure felt like one right now. After a particularly loud thump, I collected my courage and jumped out of bed. With rubbery legs, I felt my way to the bedroom door, stopping dead in my tracks with each scuttle coming from the attic. Carefully, I twisted the doorknob and slowly creaked into the hallway, the familiar damp mushroom smell instantly filling up my nostrils. My stomach turned. A heavy silence hung in the air. I took a first step into the dark, disorderly hallway, a light scuffling sound over my head. My legs were liquefying at this point, but I took a hesitant second step, answered by a barrage of footsteps all across the ceiling. A squeal escaped my throat as I blundered back into my room, slammed the door shut, and hid under my blankets. The attic remained quiet for what remained of the night, though I have no recollection of reaching sleep. It was 4 o'clock on the 5th of October when I saw it. I woke to a full bladder begging for relief. The familiar stench of fungus filled the room. I had gotten used to it, but tonight, it was stronger than it had ever been. I clambered out of bed, the cold October air tempting me back down. The brass doorknob felt cool to the touch as I slowly squeaked into the hallway, avoiding waking up Mom. I flicked on the light, and there it hung, out of the trapdoor. A round, hairless head, grinning wildly with sharp, triangular teeth. Pale, mushroom-colored skin. Giant, yellow disc-like eyes staring right at me. I froze for what felt like ages, caught in a dreadful staring contest. My brain begged my legs to run. Please run. My throat attempted to squeeze out a scream. Meanwhile, the fungal stench enveloped me, suffocating. The thing didn't move a muscle, just grinned its big dumb smile. And then, stiff as a plank, it slowly reeled its head up backwards into the attic. The trapdoor fell shut with a clap, and with it every muscle in my body loosened as I sunk to the floor. The dull light of morning struck my eyes as a warm, familiar hand clasped my shoulder. Sadie, what are you doing here on the floor? Mom? Although we had our difficulties, Mom always had my back. I believe you, Sadie, she said. I believe that you saw something. I'm going to find out what. She rushed into her bedroom, rummaged through a box, and returned with a flashlight. Cautiously, she lifted the trapdoor, the damp fungal stench spilling into the hallway. She heaved and brought a handkerchief to her mouth and clambered up to her shoulders into the attic. I felt ill, unsure whether I had actually seen something or if it had been no more than a realistic nightmare. I wished for the latter. The click of the flashlight, a tense silence fell over the hallway. What in the world? Mom came crashing down, her eyes radiating panic, the flashlight toppling to the ground. Sadie? She slammed the trapdoor shut. I rushed to her help and hung onto its handle with all my weight, trying to keep it shut. What did she see? Mom picked up her hammer from the floor and frantically started nailing the trapdoor shut. No sign of struggle came from the other side. I let go of the handle and assisted her with the barricade. The familiar stench had been intensifying with it. Our resolve quickly waned, energy drained. Finally, we sunk to the floor, our bodies unwilling to move another muscle. So we lay there all day, slumped between the boards and nails on the hardwood floor, the trapdoor looming above us, nailed shut as tightly as we could manage. Fighting against the drowsiness induced by the fungal odor, we agreed it had even started to smell pleasant. At first, everything remained quiet. Mom started to doubt if she had actually seen anything. Maybe her mind had played tricks on her. Maybe the funny smell had made us hallucinate. After all, hadn't she sounded so absurd? A hairless, naked man on a velvet couch in the far corner of the attic, unmoving, grinning with sharp teeth and large yellow eyes? We laughed until we cried. But the sunlight has begun to fade, and what started as a soft scuttling over our heads is now blown into a raging storm, banging, thumping, and scratching all over the attic. Something wants to get out. My brain screams at my legs to run. Please run, but they won't listen. Mom isn't waking up. As I sit here and write, not knowing whether our barricade is going to hold, I am left only to wonder, what lives in our attic? It was 12 o'clock on the 6th of October when I felt it.